Good evening. My name is Numberer1, that guy who does the edits that make the meme do. Please join me as I read the fanfiction of Getkawedbythecrow, featuring Lazy Towns, Robbie Rotten, and myself. Sit back and enjoy. My dear Numberer1, I wish to let you know how much I love this video. It is hard to express by saying such mundane things like, thanks for making a cool video, or seems like you put a lot of hard work in. So, instead, I'm going to do something more to my taste. I'll write you a fanfic. Robbie Rotten grabbed Numberer by the neck and squeezed. The life was fleeing from Numberer's eyes. Only one of them could be number one, and Robbie knew it should be him. He had been number one for years, and this lazy town isn't big enough for two. While Robbie was pondering prematurely what he should do with his soon-to-be corpse, Numberer grabbed a convenient brick and bashed Robbie's head as hard as he could. Robbie spun backwards, griping his pronounced chin, which was now bruised and bloody, and Numberer crumpled down to catch his breath. Numberer bolted down the alleyway to the streets of the town to try and get help. He felt Robbie closing in on him, so he faked a trip to stumble Robbie. But Robbie fell for no such jape, being a master of trickery, and stopped to laugh. Ha ha ha! Now look at that! He was cut off by a quick jab to the stomach, which sent him tumbling down to the ground in a cartoonish manner. Numberer continued running hard and reached the street. He saw a boy standing next to a sign of the triangle variety. Thank God, he thought, I can get saved from this fucking lunatic. He grabbed the child by the shoulders and spun him round in a 180 so they were face to face. But in his utter horror, the child, no, it, seemed to be made out of a plastic resin. Numberer screamed in fear for the second time that day. The thing grabbed the brick out of his hand and stated, "This brick is mine." Numberer's mouth hung open. It seemed the puppet-like creature could talk. Who knew they'd had things like this in Lazy Town, Illinois? Robbie had caught up to him and grabbed the puppet by the neck, tearing the seams. Oozing red liquid poured out where the stitching broke. Robbie partook in this liquid in order to write a number 1 on his forehead. He turned slowly in Numberer's direction, his smile growing ever wider. "I am number 1, he said, before swiftly breaking Numberer's arm with his own lengthy appendage. Numberer was too shocked to scream. The pain was excruciating. He felt a new urge, one he had not felt before. Picking the brick up from its corpse, he smashed in Robbie's cheek. Robbie could taste bits of brick that had entered from this unnatural crevice that painfully nuzzled its way onto his face. In shock, he barely felt what happened next. Numberer smashed the window of a building nearby. With his own bare hand, grabbed a price of the glass. He stabbed Robbie in the stomach and pulled up with all his might, cutting his own hands severely. Now that Robbie's insides were out, he slumped down next to his predecessor. Robbie, now fully able to feel pain, looked with teary eyes to his replacement and said, "Listen, kid, I've been in the villain game a long time, but you've got something special." Numberer looked back at him and said, "What the fuck are you talking about? I just moved here for a job." Robbie tried to pull his insides back in, but even a master of disguise could not pull that off. Numberer looked at the man in front of him, and the man looked back. "Let me say one last thing," Robbie sputtered. "Lean in close." Numberer listened to the old codger and leaned. "Here's a little lesson in trickery," Robbie sang with a smile. Numberer felt the glass in his neck and smiled as well. At least he would not have to explain this to the police. The end. The point is, keep making great videos. I love your work.